All right, everyone's excited. Okay, everybody, Kaye Dixon here. So pumped about our Zoom tonight. We have an exceptionally special guest, highly raved about, and this was just, Cheyenne, this was just such an honor to be able to do this with you in the
Of
new year,
course.
before conference. Our team is pumped to have you on. Everyone welcome Sheyenne Knox. Cheyenne, how are you?
Hello.
Okay, so I know that a lot of our team know your story. Your story is phenomenal, and we're going to jump right in, but I want you just to kind of share just a minute or two of just what It Works has done to just totally change your life and how this has impacted you in the most amazing ways.
That is such a hard question to answer in a few minutes because I could probably go on and on and on. But I joined this business when I was 18. I barely had a real job. I was a hostess at a restaurant and I hated it so much. And so, being able to join this business, it gave me the opportunity to not have to get a job when I went to college. It gave me the opportunity to not have to ask my parents for a single dime to be able to pay for my dorm, all my textbooks on the first day, which cost $938.62 because I remember how awful that felt to spend that much money.
Wow.
I never had to ask my parents for any form of money. I paid my car payment. So ever since, I was 18 for 2 months before I joined this business. And since then, I've not had to, ask my parents for a single dime. I've actually been able to give to them. Because, they always say, I always preach this to my team, every 6 months, if my service is super bad, I can go sit in my car. I'm at my grandparents and their Wi-Fi is not that hot. So just let me know if I need to go.
So far, so good.
Okay. So, they say every 6 months something happens in your life where you really, really need this business. And 6 months into this business, my dad actually lost his job. And I was able to completely help my dad for 7 months, actually pay, help him with bills and do all of that stuff. And I never expected that because when I started this, everyone's saying they're having a hard time hearing. No, you think you're good? Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, I can hear you fine. So hopefully, I mean, my Wi-Fi is signal strong.
Okay, perfect. So, I was able to help with that. I actually just bought myself a brand new car and I'm 20 and I think that's crazy. That's the only debt that I have. I've been able to pay for school completely. And I actually took a break from school. This year, I decided that I really wanted to, I'm an all or nothing kind of girl and I wasn't able to, do school 100%. I also didn't even know what the heck I wanted to do. And I felt that God laid this business in my life when he did so that this was my career. This is what I wanted to do. And, a lot of people don't have this business right off the bat as early as I did. So I just took that and ran with it. And as soon as I stopped going to school and was able to give this 110%, I went triple and presidential within 6 months. So not saying you need to drop out of school. Do not take that. That's just, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So I felt like I was wasting my time. So I did that, able to just buy myself a new car, and just the blessings are, for my future. I've been able to plan for my future and I, being young, I didn't have a lot of bills. So I've been able to save up so much to where when I am able to buy like my first house and do all of those things, I don't have to, stress about how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be able to make that decision based on me being able to save because I was so young. Because I know when I started this, I was like, oh, wow, I'm 18. Everyone else is like a wife and like a mom and has like cool things. And I don't, so like, I don't know how to do this, but I've been able to save for all of that. So I haven't necessarily done as much as most people, paying off debt and doing all of that and getting to kind of, take a step forward and see a different perspective of it and kind of prevent, debt and being able to do everything on my terms and stuff like that. So hope that answered your question.
You're doing things, Cheyenne, that people don't do in a lifetime. You realize that?
Yeah, my dad says that often when he went to buy my car and all this stuff. I've been investing and trying to do all the smart things with my money, and he says, I haven't even been able to do that. And there's so many, my grandparents tell me that all the time. So it's definitely like a really humbling thing to hear that from people.
Yeah. My dad drove company cars, actually until they moved to Florida eight or 9 years ago. And so you are way ahead of the curve. And I think that it's just so special. And I remember being in college in this business my last year and just it was pulling teeth to finish. I'm like, Mom, I'm learning more in the real world than I am in school. But she's like, you have 4 months left, finish. Yeah. I was like, I had to finish. But I admire you for making a business decision. That's what you did. You made a business decision. And I think that that's just so special. So you have a lot of admirers on this team for your success. And in 2 years, you think, you're 20 years old, you joined when you were 18, you've accomplished a lot in 2 years. And that's just such a wonderful thing. And I really want to share with the team your tips, something that I want to say that I've taken away from you just in us getting to know each other and supporting each other in this business and being on Zooms together before and just chatting is you're very organized. And in organization comes discipline, and in discipline comes organization. And so you have a system down that works for you, and everyone does things differently. But I wanted to thank you for that because it's something that you've actually taught me and helped me to be more successful in this business. Is just simply taking the time to be organized. Perfect. Turn my light down because I feel like I was like whiting out here. That's something that I just really feel like has helped me grow as an ambassador into the next level is the organization part, which seems so simple, but it's so important. So for a second, I'd like to start with that just as kind of a precursor to all these questions. I think as you answer these questions today, your success comes from you being so disciplined and so organized and so thoughtful in your work. So talk about some of the ways that you do stay organized and how that looks in your business for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm a really, really visual person. So I think starting out, number one, with figuring out how you work best, because I write everything down, and you may not be like that. I have girls on my team that literally just use their phone and their calendar. I cannot do that. So up until 2 weeks ago, I was all on paper. I have a binder over there. The front page has all the goals for the year that I wanted to reach. Sitting on the white couch, being in top 150, I shouted out crazy things. I mean, this was back when my business was like literally on the ground, and I, put all my goals out there so that every time I looked at that book, I saw where I wanted to be. And I've achieved everything but 3 things on there, and I still want to check those off. So I think that's super important. First and foremost is always having your goals everywhere, because that to me is a really big part in organization, because that's what you're working towards. So you always have to have a goal at the forefront of what you're wanting to do. And then I put little dividers in there that I got from the Target Dollar section. And the first one is like my potential loyal customers. Second one's potential distributors. Third one was all of my charts for my team, and that was like this thick because I charted for everyone because I'm just that kind of person. I feel like that's something I've had to learn is I tried to control everything. And I remember when the $45 deal happened, like in April, I texted Courtney and I was like, I'm losing control of my team. And she's like, that's so good. But I had to chart for every single person, and they were all stapled together, executive, Ruby, Emerald, when they had like 2 distributors on their team. I was on it. But, that taught my team to do that. So I had a whole section for charts. I have a section for steps to success. I love that sheet of paper, and I don't think that I would be here if it wasn't for that. Mm-hmm. I have completed that every single month but one since I've been in this business. And with me being visual, I see blanks on a sheet of paper and I have to fill it. So, having those 4 customers and 3 distributors that you have to fill, I have that printed out every single month. And on the back of it, once I started realizing I could enroll more than just the numbers on that paper, which was a huge realization, was when I went double diamond. And I finally really figured out how to enroll consistently. I guess because I got past that mental block of thinking my steps to success was all I was capable of. And I started numbering on the back of it, and I would number to the amount of customers that I wanted to enroll every month. And sometimes I don't hit it, but all those blanks, I see that and I'm like, okay, I need to fill those. I need to work a little bit harder. And when I don't feel that, I'm able to look at that the month before and be like, okay, you only enrolled this much, you need to do more of what you were not doing the last month. So I love that. So I think that's very important to have out. And then the last section is all of my past promotions. I get them all laminated. There's charts for everything. You just have to find them, but I laminate all of my promotions, and I always have marked all the volume that I've taken off. And I think that's really cool to help my team to be able to say oh, well, I was 5,000 away on this day. You've got it. I love having that. And that kept me really organized so that I could count down. And when I'm promoting, I take the big, the amount of volume. So say I was 600 away from Ruby and I had 9 days left, I would divide that by the amount of days I had. So I knew how much volume I had to get in every day. So that was a big, big thing for me. But, the moment I message somebody on Instagram or Facebook, or they message me, I get their number. So I get them off social media. Some people don't do that. That's just the way that I like to stay organized, especially with Connect now. Connect is incredible, and that's like the best thing ever since sliced bread. And so I save all my potential customers in my phone as PLC or PDT. So when I'm going in Connect, I just type in PLC and make that group, and I send out like 900 text messages in a matter of like 20 minutes. So that's how I've been staying organized up to now. But I used to just write them all down, and I would just go follow up. I had a calendar that I'd write all things down on, and on my phone, if I get someone say like, hey, I'll sign up on the 21st, I always just say like, remind me on the 21st to sign up with so-and-so. And I have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, I can't help you, and you need to get an iPhone, but I definitely think that's super, super important. You have to be organized the way that you feel organized. That method I just gave you made sound like complete stupidness to you, because that's not how your brain works. So make sure, like, if you're visual, if you're somebody who needs to write things down, like I have to write everything down because I have the most god-awful memory. I'm not organized with anything in my life. You should see my bedroom. But this business, I'm so organized to it, because if you forget one name, that's one ambassador diamond you can skip out on. That's one, huge order when it comes to a promotion. Like, you don't understand the importance of that stuff until you're promoting and you need one more customer. You look back and think about all the organization you should have done. So especially with this Connect app, make sure you're saving all your contacts and getting all your potentials and ducks in a row, especially before conference, because when they announce that bonus, you want to be ready. All those bonuses or whatever they announce, we don't know, because they always do, crazy things, but you have to make sure that you're ready when they say that, you know exactly who you're going to be going to.
I love this. I just started using Connect in this last week, and I was like, what was I so nervous about? And so I told the team, I'm like, this app is brilliant. It's like done the work for us. It is so not hard. And once I started messaging my loyal customers from, I've been in business 10 years, and I'm like, I haven't connected with these people since 2012. What the heck was I doing? And to realize there's a gold mine sitting there of people who are ready to order and hungry to order and curious and are grateful for reaching out. And it is a numbers game. So the more messages you send out, the more that you're going to have the probability of getting a yes there.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my post. I don't think I actually posted it in my first. I can send it to you. I signed 12 customers 3 days ago, simply from sending the message you gave me.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. That was amazing. I sent that to all my customers, and by midnight that night, I had signed 12 customers for all my potentials using Connect. And I just sent I sent 189 messages to some of my potentials, and I got 12 back. Like, it's a pretty big difference, but it was 12 customers. Like, you don't need, it's all in numbers because 189 people, but I got 12 customers, and that's a lot when it's in, like, comes to promotions and stuff. So Connect is where it's at.
Well, yeah, and that's not new people. You don't have to go find new people. You utilize people that you already had in your network that you had met on social media. And you there?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, good. I moved.
Okay. All right. So let's get to this first question, because this ties into your story. What did you do differently in 2018 than you did the year before? I know you kind of started out this past year a little rocky, feeling a little bit down on yourself for where your business had gotten to. And team-wise, I know you were paid as executive going into conference than the previous year. So that was the question. So let's elaborate on that.
Yeah. So, I went diamond in May, 3 days after I graduated high school, and I moved into college in August. And when I moved into college, me and my boyfriend had broke up. I was moving into a new college. I hate change. So change is really overwhelming for me. I moved into college. Like, everything felt like it was like crashing and burning, and I was being so dramatic. And I took that out on my team, and I lost rank from diamond to executive, like, immediately. Like, it was not a drastic thing. It was just all the way down. And each month from, September, October, November, December, January, I maintained executive. I was bringing in like $200 to $600, hustling to get those fast starts because I still had stuff to pay for. I was, college, car, all of that from in between. So, it was my mindset that was a huge thing. I mean, it was never just one thing that changed. It was never just one thing that changed for my business to fail or one thing to change for my business to come back from rock bottom. It was just a mixture of everything. And that's obviously things that you have to figure out about your business. But, when January came around, I was so tired of being broke, and it was so hard going from $2,000 plus to $200. And, you know, that was really, really hard on me. And I posted this the other day in October. So when I had lost rank in that period of time in October, I had 2 people that would consistently show up to my team Zooms. I would cry when I would get off those Zooms because I wanted so badly. I'm like a huge leader. I love leading. And I would get so sad because I'd have so much to say and only 2 people would show up to hear it. And I would get so discouraged and so angry. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but something's got to give. And I stopped doing Zooms altogether. I stopped working. I stopped leading. I mean, I always posted in like that kind of work, but like I stopped working, like putting one foot in front of the other, trying to become better. And January came around and I texted Courtney Bohr. She's my ambassador leader that I enrolled under. And I was like, look, I am about willing to do anything in order to get out of this position. And she was like, okay, like, let's break it down. And I remember messaging Jade and she was like, okay, whoa, you're an angry leader. You need to chill out and revamp this stuff. So I was so mad at my team for not showing up because I wanted more money. Like I was being so, so selfish, and looking back and like, yikes, I'm so disgusted at myself for even getting to that point. But I was like, why is this person not working? Why is this person not doing, like, I need more money. I need to get Diamond back. So Jade sent me a chart and she said, okay, you're about to go to conference. Like, and I put my account in the negative to go to conference. So if you're saying you're too broke to go, get your butt to conference, because it changed my whole entire life and changed the whole course of 11 months of my business to get me to presidential right now as me talking to you. So, you know, she gave me a double chart and she was like, stop trying to regain Diamond. Stop trying to work with the people that are not working with you. She was like, here's a double chart, fill it out and go double and you'll get Diamond back in the process. So, you know, in January, my paycheck was like some 200, 300, 400, something around there. Went to conference and was literally my heart was open, my mind was open. I was so ready to just listen to everyone else. I'd never been to conference before. And just listening to everyone talk and looking up on stage and seeing how everyone was just so normal and like a normal person, and they were not unicorns like I had imagined them to be. Took in everything and I got Diamond. I like every day after conference, I was like going home, messaging, working super hard. I got Diamond back that month and I went double the next month. I mean, it was just a huge mindset shift. I was so excited when I left conference that I felt like I was going to be a millionaire in like 30 days. And I was so pumped and so excited about things. I was willing to, you know, I texted my team and I was like, hey, if you're willing to show up, like we're doing things. We're going to do something here. And the people that did show up did, and the people that didn't. And you guys, so many people that quit during that period of time are back on my team that are diamonds and above now, because I showed up and I started putting, you know, that initiative out there. Like I had a girl that was an executive on my diamond chart and she's about to go double this month, and she quit for so long, and she quit and then she saw me go double and she came back. So I mean, it was so many things, mindset shift, you know, showing up more for my team, doing what I was expecting of them. Like I was expecting them to message hundreds of people and I wasn't messaging a single person. So like, how did I ever expect them to do what I wasn't doing? So I started showing up every single day, posting more intentionally, like having my friends. I was like around so many girls that took cute pictures, and I started telling them like, hey, go take a picture of me on my phone. Like I just went all in and was literally so open to everything that was coming. And here we are.
Wow. You know, I admire that so much because there's so much vulnerability in that and honesty. And that's what we need to hear. You know, we need to be just not only honest with the outside world, but my gosh, honest with ourselves. And that's exactly what you did. You weren't sitting here pretending to be something you weren't. You just got to work. And that's so admirable. Okay, so I think this kind of flies into that. So how did you build from diamond to presidential in less than a year? Okay, so how did you build from diamond to pres in less than a year? That's a big deal, first of all. That's huge, because you did this
still feels crazy.
Before the year ended. I mean, it's not like December 31st you promoted to pres, like you had already accomplished that. Did you focus on DTs or LCs? Obviously both. And what was your focus monthly to hit this goal? Great questions.
So when I went double in March, my best friend Carly, I'm sure if y'all follow me, you know, I talk about her all the time. She lived 3 hours away from me, and I was literally driving. You know, I would go to school, take a test, drive 3 hours to her house, come back, take a test, drive back, because I wanted to be around people that related to me. I was in college, some girls were on my team, but I wanted to be around people that were going to motivate me. We went double the same month, and so that really, really pushed me. I found something to motivate me. So that's number one. Make your why super strong. Be around like people that are on your team. Work with people. Get super close and like put everything you have into this. Like I was driving 3 hours like every other day to do that and be near people. So I went double. The girl that I went diamond with originally, that was my emerald, I just pulled up someone underneath her because she had quit, and that's the girl that's about to go double. And so I was just pulling up people that were working. I looked at it as I had to do it by myself until I could find a team that was ready. And I was willing to do that because I wanted it that badly. So I wanted that $5,000 a month. And there was no bonus at the time because bonuses, I feel like they weren't really a thing when I started, like as much, but I could totally be being dramatic about that. But there wasn't a bonus, so I had nothing to really push me other than a $5,000 paycheck. That was huge. So got double. And then I was like, okay, like triple, wow. And triple was like, I felt like unicorns were triple. Like triple just seemed something that was just not even a tangible thing. Because at the moment I looked at a triple chart, I was like, there's no way. Like there is no way that I am doing this. But that's when I truly realized that that is the reason, you have to be duplicatable. That has never, when you go triple in presidential, you can't do it by yourself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had been doing for so long. And I was like, okay, like we're going to have to teach people how to be a leader. So I started focusing, really, really heavily on, encouraging my team to go live in our team page and encouraging, people to get on our Zooms. And I started doing consistent team Zooms so that I could pour into my team more. And I started, making all those charts for people and like stapling them together and, FaceTiming people and just literally going all in with my team, because I knew that if I was teaching them what I was doing, that they would do the same thing and teach their team, and then triple would just come. And so, I was doing that, focusing on that. And so that was in March, April, May, June, and I went triple in July. So 5 months, I guess 4 or 5 months from when I went double, I just got a chart out, and I got charts out for my team. And I was just shouting out from the rooftops on every post that I was doing that, if you want extra money, and I always said, like, I'm looking for a diamond, $2,000 a month. If you search my Facebook, there's a post that says I'm looking for my next diamond. That post is amazing, and I get so many potentials from that because people, $2,000 a month is tangible. When I sit there and shout out, oh, I make $20,000 a month, they don't care, because that's not a thing. And that's something I really always share is, like, they don't care about buying a new car. They don't care about you buying an expensive purse. They don't care about you getting a $30,000 bonus. That's cool to them. They want to see gas. They want to see groceries. They want to see a $2,000 monthly paycheck because that is relatable. That's something that they need. So, I always post about needing another diamond or somebody that's really willing to work with me. And I started sharing the little things like getting gas and getting groceries and things that people need more of. And so I started doing that, filling my charts with people, and I was just running with those that were running with me. If they were a 400 box, that was the biggest thing when I was going diamond and double, is I looked at everybody as a box on my chart. And the moment that I shift my mind to looking at them as those are people that want this as bad as I do, I started giving them ruby charts and emerald charts and teaching them how to, get people on their team rather than saying, hey, go get customers because I need you to be a 400 box on my promotion. Because that's how it was for me. Because you have to go through learning processes to understand that that's not how it is. And that's, if you feel like that right now, I'm not talking bad about you. It's something I had to learn because I wanted that promotion so badly that they were just 400 boxes. They were just people. But now, I look at them as people that need this business more than I do. So, I was giving them ruby charts, and ruby, Sydney Stapleton, ruby in 1 month is what I share with all my distributors to go ruby. And I was doing that with everyone. So people were getting to 400 so quickly because they were pushing to get to ruby. So, I was building my team super quickly, went triple. That promotion was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I never slept. I stayed up, guys, I don't even know if I slept more than like 2 hours a night. I was like so excited at the same time. So in the moment, I wasn't like tired, I guess. I don't know. I was so focused on going triple and getting that bonus that I was not sleeping, waking up super early. My dad would like bring me like Taco Bell in a bag and like run away because I was so like just on it. I enrolled like 42 customers to go triple. I was focusing on distributors because if y'all know Jade, or if you ever watch any training videos, she always preaches to us to enroll distributors because in our compensation plan, that's where the money is at. Customers, yes, they make you money, but distributors is where the money's at. You're training them, you're helping them, you're getting cabs, you're getting fast starts, you get commission off of them. If they take off and they're personally enrolled, like you want all the personally enrolled people to you because you make more money. So, she's always coached us to enroll distributors. So I was doing that. And then the $20 deal happened when I was going triple. So that was, not only was triple overwhelming, $20 deal was overwhelming, but I ran with that, and I was trying to be super intentional, and I didn't want it to be like the $10 deal. If any of y'all were around then, yikes. But I didn't want it to be like that. So I was trying to train them and push them. And so that helped a lot. And so I went triple and was like, oh, whew, because I just watched the triple diamond video. I don't know if you saw that or shared that with your team, but it was like Mira and a bunch of other girls did a Zoom about, triple. It was amazing. So I don't know where to find that, but you should find it because it motivated the crap out of me.
I'm going to hunt that one down.
I feel like the jump from triple to presidential was like going to be absolutely awful because these girls were like, oh, I've been triple for like 2 years and I want to go presidential. But the tips that they shared on that showed me that it doesn't take that long. It doesn't have to be like that. And so now all those girls are presidential, but that Zoom is what truly just changed it for me.
Did you say they're all presidential now?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. See, and that shows you a lot right there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, I was listening to all their tips and sorry, I'm like straight up word vomiting. I don't know how to tell all this without telling a novel. And so, I thought presidential was, again, so far away because looking at triple, I was like, there's no freaking way I'm doing that. And then I found a presidential chart that Lachelle made, which they don't exist, but someone makes them. So you can always find a chart for something you need. Printed that chart out and I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is not going to happen. I don't know how people do this, but this isn't real life. So I just, started filling that chart because you can't promote unless you fill it. Oh, and I also want to add, I wasn't charted for triple diamond until the 19th, and I wasn't charted for presidential until the 19th of both months that I promoted. So I charted and promoted in the month that I went, which I definitely recommend because then you know exactly what volume is every single day because it updates as they're enrolling. So that was the best. But I was hustling to fill the charts, and plus it's excited. Everyone's getting their new customers, so you fill up the boxes pretty easy. Not easy, but a lot faster than if it was months before. So, I was doing that. I was filling my chart, working with other leaders, and by this time, when you're presidential, you have people that are leading and enrolling, and we were just working together. We were on work Zoom literally all day long, every single day. Someone was always on it. Someone was always willing to show up. We were trying to share tips. If something was working for me, I was shouting it out for my team. I was telling them, like, I'm messaging this. And it was just the momentum, you guys. Like, we were just promoting and promoting and promoting. And there were so many bonuses. And everyone was, like, so excited. And we were working so close. And then, October 1st came and I enrolled. I wasn't even thinking about presidential at all. I don't even know when I was trying to promote, but it wasn't October. It was not October. And I texted Courtney because I enrolled a 75 BB customer at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And I texted Courtney and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go presidential. And I needed like 25,000 group volume and like 65 distributors. So I made a list on the back of a piece of paper. I numbered to the amount of distributors I needed. Every distributor I enrolled, I filled it out. Every distributor, when girls would post in our boom chat and say DT, I would look in downline orders, fill out another number until I got 65 done. And then I took how much BV I needed with all those empty 400 boxes and divided it by the amount of days and just went for it. And so, I showed my team, this is how much you need. This is how much you need. And I don't know if this is how y'all do it. If you don't listen to me. But when I have a chart, if there's an executive, I say, you work on these 2 boxes. The ruby works on these 2 boxes, the emerald. And I broke it down like that so that people would actually look at a promotion and be like, oh, I can do that. Like, yeah. I can do that if I break it apart with my team. And that just, it's so much less overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that was a lot of vomit. But, the biggest thing, too, is you cannot pour in your team and from an empty cup. And I know y'all have heard that before. But if you don't believe in yourself and you don't shout it out and you don't do personal development and you don't believe that what you're doing can come true, it's not going to. If you don't profess every single day that you're capable of making it happen, it will never happen. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your team, and you're not putting in that work every single day, promotions don't just come together, ever. They don't just happen. It's like you taking the initiative. But I'm pretty sure that in 2 years, if you would be making $20,000 a month, you would be willing to stay up every single night and wake up super early every single morning so that you could do that. Because, there's no job in corporate America that you can just go from making $200 in a month to $20,000 in a month in 2 years. That's not a thing. This business allows you to do that. So the opportunity that you have in front of your hands right now, you guys, is like, you don't even know because you don't know. You have to find out by just going through it and doing it. And just the biggest thing is, like I said, if you don't have a goal written down somewhere for you to achieve, you don't know where you're going. You don't have an end result. And so last year in January, when I was making $200 maintaining executive, I made a dream board. It's on my Instagram if you go back a year ago. And I had a picture pointing next to it, and I put presidential by November. sponsor a child for Christmas. Like, I posted on my Facebook, every single thing happened. And if it didn't happen by the day I said, it happened before that. And I didn't believe any of that, but I said it out there and I shared that I was going to do that, and I did it. So have a goal, achieve it. And like, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm presidential. I don't know how the heck that happened, but everything that I just said, just try to implement that into your business. And I promise it'll change so much.
So what would you say is your biggest enrolling tip when it comes to distributors? Because that's the next question on here, actually. How do you get people to actually join your team? I really would like for you to talk about this, Cheyenne, the process of asking and the process of showing up on social media consistently, because I see what you do and I know we've talked about it, but this is so important right now to be of being consistent and all the tips that you can give, but this is going to be a big one.
So I actually enrolled a distributor 2 days ago, and she sent me like one screenshot, and it was from her mom. And I had actually placed 3 customers under her today, and I texted her and I was like, hey, like, I haven't heard anything from you. Like, I'm not sure, like, if you're getting cold feet, like, what's going on? What's not working? And she was like, I've talked to 10 people and they're not enrolling, and I just don't think this is for me. Well, the red in me goes, you know what? You have not given this business a chance, and you have to be consistent. It's a business. It's not going to happen overnight. And so I always give this analogy. You know, if you went into a new town in your town and you opened an electric company, that electric company, you're going to have to spend money to get your business started, and you're going to have to advertise. You're going to have to get reviews. You're going to have to put out there what you're doing. You're going to have to put up your billboard every single day. You're going to have to change it to all those words you're putting out there so that people can watch and people can, you know, hear from their neighbor and hear from this, and, you know, watch this advertisement that you put out there and watch your Facebook post about the electric company. And eventually they have a whole clientele. So I want y'all to understand that if you just join this business in one day, this is not a one day get rich quick kind of scheme. This is a business. This is a residual income business. So, you know, it's taken me 2 years to get here. And people, when I went presidential, it was like 200 messages a day from people like, this isn't working. And I don't know like what I'm doing wrong. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, there's no secret sauce. There's not one thing. It's literally just being consistent, you guys. Like, people need this business. They want this business. We've been open for like, 18 years now. And this is, I'm pretty sure we have the highest sales that we've ever had. And it's booming. So people want this. People want to be in this business, and everyone always needs money. Whether you're rich or broke, you always want more money. So, you know, I just always say, you know, if you're not enrolling distributors, you're not being consistent enough. You're not being open enough. You're not pouring into your team enough, or not pouring into your post enough and being vulnerable. You know, the moment that I started sharing a little bit more about like my past and about my parents and about financial struggles and about stuff like that, people related to me. They didn't look at me as some person that makes $20,000 a month. You know, that wasn't, I didn't have a story then. And a lot of you were like, well, I don't have those big bonuses, and I don't have this, and I don't have that. That's not what it's about. Like, you know, Kaye started at the bottom of this too. She had to create her story and write her story. And every single thing I've done through this business, people have watched me, and I've never, ever, not one time not posted about this business at least once in the day. You know, sharing what this business is doing, sharing me getting gas, sharing me enrolling a distributor, you know, all aspects of it. They watch. And I don't care if you don't get any interaction on your post, or maybe no one's messaged you yet. People are watching. And if you give up before they enroll with you, they're going to enroll with somebody else. You're basically doing the work for someone else. Yeah. So I say that just for you to be vulnerable, you guys. Share this business and just know that it's not going to happen overnight, and nothing good lasts, or nothing quick lasts. So, you know, what's her name? I just literally forgot her name. Cami says it all the time. She's like, nothing good happens quickly. So you want to make sure that what you're doing, you're building a sustainable business by talking about every day and sharing your story, sharing, you know, the vulnerable parts of your life, sharing that time that you had to put groceries back and now you don't have to, and sharing that time where you only could put $10 in your gas tank and now you can fill it up. Little things like that, and just writing your story along the times, and just knowing that, you know, I post about this business every single day for 2 years, and I just enrolled the distributor yesterday that I talked to December 22nd, 4 days after I joined 2 years ago. And she's amazing. She's killing it. So it's just about consistency and understanding that it's a business. It's going to take time. You just have to be patient and willing to work really closely with your upline and, you know, putting into your business every single day.
What's your advice for people who are just getting started and they're writing their story, and they don't have, they might even have one, what they consider one win yet in this business, but they want to come across as if they do. They want their post to be intriguing. They want to be successful at this. So what is your advice to your team in those getting started stages?
So when I got started, there was a $500 Ruby bonus, which the bonuses that are being announced at conference, they're, making that to where anyone that promotes this month gets those bonuses as well. So you don't even know what bonuses you could be earning this month. So that's pretty cool. It's like a little question mark. What am I going to earn? But I'm earning something. So there was a $500 bonus when I got started, and I'm very red. So I saw that and was like, heck yes, I'm doing it. I shouted that Ruby bonus out to every single person, even if I wasn't even going to earn that. Like, I didn't even know what it was, but I was like, hey, I'm going to earn a $500 bonus. Do you want to do this with me? People don't understand. They don't know that you might not earn that bonus, but they joined me because they saw the potential in what I was sharing. And then once I went Ruby, I was shouting it out there, and I wasn't, shouting it out there because I didn't think I was going to do it. I knew I was going to earn that bonus. How I was going to get it, or I was going to even get there, but I was sure going to give everything I had to get there. So then I did earn that Ruby bonus, and I got that $500 bonus. And so people saw, I was shouting this out, and I was actually earning that money. And then there was a $10,000 diamond bonus. And I was like, oh, heck yes, I'm earning that bonus. I put that on every single post. I told every single person about it. I did a wrap party that one person showed up to, and I sold my soul to that person, telling them I was going to make a $10,000 bonus. Like, I invited like 20 people, and one person showed up, and that was the most embarrassing moment in my life. I remember that. But that one person joined my team. And so I want you to know, like, I shared those bonuses and what I was going to do and the goals that I was going to reach and where I was going so much, and I had nothing to show for it. I didn't have any money yet. My first paycheck was $17, and I was like, heck yes, that's half my gas tank. Like, I was so happy. And I just want y'all to understand that, like, it doesn't matter if you have a story to tell. It matters the story that you're writing, and people are watching that story every single day. And every new thing you get to add to your business, and every win, every customer you enroll, shout that out. Like, put it on a PixArt picture over your picture and be like, Becky got started as a customer. People want to see that you're actually being successful. And one reason, like, distributors, if you reach out to them, if you're new, they don't know what the heck you're doing. So you have to write that story and share with them what you are doing, sharing the money you're earning, the bonuses you're going to earn, the people you're going to have on your team, the things you're going to do, putting your goals out there, vacations, buying a car. People find promise in your promises. So always be sure you're sharing that, because people are watching every single second, and they're going to come. You just can't give up on them before you give them the chance to come back to you.
So good. This is so good. All right. So how did you get all the BB that you needed to promote each time? Were you cold messaging, host to post, posting on your story, lives? You enrolled a ton of volume last year with all of your promotions.
I was doing all the things, all of it, a lot. I was cold messaging 10 people an hour, every single hour. I set a reminder on my phone, on the reminders app, that says message, and every time that pops up, I go message and I swipe it and say remind me in an hour. I have 2 Instagram accounts. I don't recommend doing that if your first account isn't super solid, but I had that to where I could message more people. So if you have like a really good solid first Instagram where you're talking about the business, you can always regrow a second one at the same time, so you have more options. But definitely don't do that if you're not super strong with your first one. I was doing that. I was following as many people as I could every hour if it allowed me to. I didn't really spend too much time unfollowing because I didn't have time for that. I was doing host to post. I'm really, really big into host to post, especially when they first got started, because Facebook hates us and they weren't as heavily like blocked and stuff. So I was doing every host to post that I could, having my family post for me. I'm a live queen. I go live pretty often. I've kind of like laid back on that, which I don't know why, but I love going live on Facebook, just, showing my coffee, talking about the business, telling my story, having my team on there, like having like coffee and convos with people. Those were huge for me just because it's kind of like a FaceTime, they're watching you and you're watching the screen. So it's like you're talking to them. So I use like you a lot in the videos to make them feel like I'm talking to them directly. That's huge. I share all aspects of my life. I'm a social marketer. I'm a network marketing professional. And so what I'm putting out there, I want to be quality. So I made sure that my posts were good. I was taking the time to write my own captions. I was making live posts and talking about the products. And the moment I got my own personal results, you guys, exploded. I went double diamond, and I went double diamond because I got my own personal results. All my hosted posts were my results. every time I talked to somebody about coffee and greens, I mean, coffee came out in October, so it hadn't been out very long when I went double, like 5 months. So I was sharing the crap out of coffee and greens. I was sharing results left and right. You know, when I was talking to customers, I was sending my results with them and saying like, look what this has done for me. And all of a sudden it's like, bam, they're like, oh yeah, it worked for you. That's great. Even though I just sent them like 5 other results of other people, they don't care because it's not you. So definitely get your own results. I was messaging a lot, and if the message wasn't getting a lot of responses, I was always willing to change it, because, you know, you always have to be willing to change things that aren't working. And I was changing my messages, following up so consistently. Like, it's all in the follow-up. I was willing to know that I was talking to these people, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15 times, and then finally they were sealing the deal. And people knew that I was promoting. You know, I was shouting it out there that I was going to earn a $15,000 bonus. And there were so many people that were like, you know what, I've been watching your journey for so long. Like, I just want to support you. Like, how can I help you? I had a lot of that. Me sharing with people that I'm working super hard for this promotion. People could see that. And so, I mean, that was just the biggest thing. I enrolled 79 customers when I went presidential, which was insane. And that was the month that I got over my fear of upselling. I have always been so terrified of, you know, offering one more bag of coffee or offering the cleanse with coffee and greens, because I was afraid that I would lose the sale altogether. But the worst thing they're going to do is tell you no. So I started selling, when I went presidential, literally the only thing that I sold was the triple threat, which I made a message for. If you want me to send that to you, it's golden. I actually gave it to Claire, and she said that that was like a huge reason as to why she went ambassador, because the BB is 126 BB. So I was selling 2 bags of coffee, greens, and cleanse. And when people want to lose weight and you're giving them before and afters, they are so serious about it. And everyone drinks coffee. So I was selling a ton of those, and I will definitely share that message with you. And I used to only sell 1 bag of coffee and greens when I would talk to people about coffee and greens, but that would only be half a month's supply. But I was always too scared to say, okay, well, if you get 2 bags, it's $78. Well, I made this message that words it really well, and it worked out. But, you know, I was always willing to upsell that coffee and get 2 bags of coffee and greens and cleanse. So that's definitely a huge thing, is just upselling and being willing to share it out there with people and share your results so you can get more BV so that you can promote more.
What did you send? Okay, what did you cold message to people every hour?
I changed it all the time. I don't like the message. Okay, everyone in this business messages, and I think it's important to make your own message and make sure, like, I don't message people the conventional way. I always just say like, hey, I know you get asked this a lot, and I know you get a lot of cold messages from random people, but I feel like I'd be doing us a disservice if I didn't reach out to you. Like, I really want to share these health and wellness products with you, and if you'd be interested, would it be cool if I gave you some info? Super laid back. I'm already calling out the elephant in the room because they already get 12 messages a day, but I want mine to be different. And I get a lot of messages back, and they're like, okay, like your message, I get these all the time, but like yours is different. And I'll take the time to listen. I actually enrolled a distributor the other day that I messaged because I felt like I had to, like it was a God thing. And I messaged her, and she was like, literally today, I was thinking about how many messages I get, and I was thinking about how I needed extra income, and I messaged her. So I act differently than how most people message. I don't say like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, I think you would love our products. They've heard that before. So be different and be willing to make your own that's personal. So I always just say like, I know you've been messaged before, and I know you've heard of this, so I would love to like share these with you if you'd be cool with it. So just make your own.
I love that you say that, even if you're just assuming, even if they haven't, that likely is more serious.
I'm not staying on it. I'm getting up.
Oh, I was just asking.
Yeah, and most people too, like if you say, I know you've heard of this, they're going to say like, oh, like I haven't heard of that. What is this that you're talking about? Because then they feel left out.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I noticed like a lot of people on Instagram, you guys especially, you have to understand, like they're getting messaged a lot of the times, and Shay and I know this, for not making money is necessarily, is that they're being messaged to ask to do something for a company for free. They're oftentimes being asked to be like a brand ambassador or something a lot of times, and it's really not it's not that great. They're not going to make a lot of money. It's just, or any at all. They just might get free product for making a post on social. So you're going in there and just kind of calling, like you said, calling out the elephant in the room. That's really smart. I love that.
And the biggest thing too is a lot of times they're not going to respond to you, and that's fine. Like you're going to have to get used to being left on red, because that's just how it is. Like it's not going to get any better. But the biggest thing is in my consistency and posting on my story and sharing my life and sharing about the products. I swear to you that every person that comes to me and messages me, I've messaged them before and they saw that and told me no, or they read it and didn't respond. But in my consistency, they became a customer because I literally, shared this opportunity and they came to me. So it's almost like kind of a relationship builder too, because they know that you've talked to them before. And then here you are still doing the business and still like working every single day. They come back to you, I promise. So it's not necessarily always going to produce immediate results, but it all comes full circle.
What does the follow-up look like on those messages?
Super simple. I always say, hey girl, like I'm putting in orders right now and I know that you really wanted that discount. So I thought of you first. Do you want it? Super simple. Or like, hey, I know I talked to you like last week and you really wanted to get your order placed. I'm running out of spots for my 40% off discount. Do you want it? Super simple. Change it up every time. Don't word vomit. Just make it seem like put the ball in their court. I always say like, you were interested, you told me you wanted it, so I wanted to give you the discount first because it's not you that, they want the products too.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Same with distributors. Super short.
What does it look like for distributors?
Like with this deal, I'm like, hey, if you could join for half off, would you? Heck, they're all going to say yeah. So that was the biggest thing. Sometimes I send voice messages and I just copy and paste it. And I'm just like, hey, like, I don't want to sit here and bother you, but like, I just want you to understand like this business is seriously so life-changing. And I would love to lock arms with you. Like, I know you needed extra money and this is the time. Mm-hmm. Just like 15, 20 seconds, but it's me. They're listening to me and knowing that they think I just sent them this voice message super personally, but they don't know that I hit the copy and paste button. But just keep it super short and simple because people don't want to sit there and read your novel long text message about products.
I think you kind of answered this one already. What did you do daily? What did your daily schedule look like for your promotion season? What were you doing? How much did you work? Were you Zooming with your team a lot, et cetera? I think you pretty much answered that. Would there be anything that you would add?
No, I mean, obviously like when you're promoting, you really have to step it up. I think a lot of times too, when you first start promoting, you don't realize how much work you have to put into things when you are promoting. All that work that you've been doing obviously comes together in that month that you promote, but you really, really do have to put in 10 times more work than you ever had before to make that promotion happen. So, I mean, it's literally just doing everything that I always did, but multiplying by 10.
Love it. If you send out messages daily for potentials, how many would you recommend for promotion month? I think you answered that too.
I mean, you can't, Instagram kind of limits that. I always, every day, even when I'm promoting, this message 10 people an hour because I can't risk being blocked. So 10 people an hour is a safe number. Sometimes you can get away with 20. Sometimes you get away with 30. It just depends. So I always just do 10. I mean, that's like 100 to 150 people every single day. So it's a lot. And I always remember to do it. But I know it's hard to do that when you do have a different schedule. Everyone's schedule is different. If you can't do that and you're at work, you're just going to have to do like 3 power hours a day, 1 at lunch, 1 before you go to bed, 1 when you wake up. But you have to kind of figure out what works for you.
I think one of the biggest things that I get as a leader, and I'm sure you do too, is just helping someone identify who that person is that they're going to message. Just kind of who is that dream client to them and who do they want to connect with on social, and not being afraid to not putting assumptions in this that you assume if people need or don't need money, and so what's your tip on that? What do you tell your team?
So I started this business really young, and that was a really big issue because young people don't have money and young people have to ask their parents and young people have to do this and that and this and that, and I was getting tired of it. So I knew, with me being young, it's kind of hard to message a mom and be like, hey girl, and they're like, who's this child messaging me? So I really had to work on branding myself. I had to try to, I've never been like a partier or anything like that. So I always made sure that my content was mature. I always tried to carry myself an older way so that I could attract people that were more mature and not 18 and didn't party and go to college and all that stuff. So it's definitely around that. Figuring out what your target market is. And by target market, I mean, what do you love? Like, who do you want on your team? I have a lot of girls on my team that are like complete dog lovers and animal lovers. And that's literally all I have on my team. Like, they all adopt elephants and random stuff with their money. But we talked about that yesterday, actually, about how many girls on our team literally always talk about dogs and have dogs. And that's who they attract. That's what they love. That's what they share. And that's who comes to them because that's a relatable thing. So definitely post a lot about what you love and brand yourself so that when you do think about who you're going to message, you're messaging people that love what you love, that do what you do, that you're able to relate, not on a business level, but on a human level. Like, I love TJ Maxx and Cactus, and I love shopping, and I am a huge traveler. So when I share that all the time, you know, people that I follow, they don't just see me as someone who sells stuff. They don't look at my Instagram and you can't tell I'm with It Works unless you read my captions, because I share me. I share what I love. I share TJ Maxx. I share Cactus stuff. I share my house and cooking. I cook all the time. And I always share how I'm on the go. And so when people enroll with me, it's because they've messaged me and they've been at TJ Maxx and they're like, hey, I'm at TJ Maxx. And it's like a relatable thing. So when they come to my stuff and they're reading me talking about things I love, they're also reading this business and it's intriguing them. So then they come to me and we've already talked about stuff. So that's the biggest thing in finding who you're going to talk to and who's going to be on your team and who's going to enroll with you is people who want you for you and not you as a networks distributor. They want to be your friend and someone who relates to you, and they know that you sell stuff and make money because they know that you're someone they can go to. I want someone when they need money or need to lose weight, I want them to not think of me as It Works or think of me someone who can help them. And so that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that you brand yourself so that people know like to come to you when they need you.
I love that. This question came in really quickly. As far as host to post goes on Instagram, can you talk about that for a second, just how you navigate that? Because I know that is a different, strategy.
They're definitely a lot harder and take a lot more of intentional time. But to me, a customer is a customer, and that's just how it goes. So I made a little word swag picture, and it just has like my results and says like who wants to lose 15 plus pounds by summer or whatever season we're about to be in, or like by spring break would be a good one right now. And you just like put your results on there and say swipe up. So then that girl or whoever does your host to post throws it up on their story, and I just say like anyone who swipes up on that, send me a screenshot. So I go follow them on Instagram, and I always say here's my number, send them my number. They're always going to text you because they see this and they're interested in it. So they're going to text you and be like, hey, what is this products that you're losing weight for by spring break? So I always get a bunch of random numbers, and I just say like, hey girl, like what's your name? And I text them, send them the information on the products, and typically they sign up unless it's out of their budget, but they're coming to you because they want to lose weight. So it's harder because that stuff falls off in 24 hours. So I kind of look at their Instagram, and if they post pictures of like leaves or like shoes or like stuff that's like not Instagram cool, then I say like, hey, would you be willing to throw this up on your wall? But if you're talking to some person that has like thousands of followers and actually cares about their Instagram, they're not going to post something on their actual wall because it's not going to happen. So just have them post it on their story, but you can kind of feel that out. And if people tell you no, just say like, okay, would you be willing to throw this up on your story? And then I always, we're doing like the Live Fit app as like a brand rep thing. So like if they download that link and they share it, they're going to get points or coins and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing.
Oh, elaborate on that one. That question.
So when the What Fit app came out,
mm-hmm.
Jade's downline, she has a Diamonds and Above page. We all put our heads together and made a brand rep of bronze, gold, and silver. So the bronze is doing host to post. So they're going to be like a referral system, and they get their link through through the Live Fit app now. And, they share that and they get packs to enroll, they can spin the wheel or whatever, and they get coins towards free product. They're going to be more willing to share stuff and post for you if they're getting stuff in return. I always send my host to post people samples as well, but if they want to, be a customer, or they say they want to host to post, like if you ever post on your wall and say like, hey, I have samples to give out, who wants some free samples? I know y'all see that stuff all the time. Anyone that comments, I send them this host to post message, and I just say like, we have bronze, gold, silver. Bronze is being, someone who refers stuff and gets free stuff in return. Gold is someone who gets my 40% off discount, so that's a loyal customer. And then silver is someone who enrolls as a distributor and makes money. So you're basically just wording things in a different way. I can send you that as well. But that gets a lot of customers and distributors too, because they don't really realize what you're doing. So I just like share that with people, and they can choose their host to post level on what they choose to do. Probably doesn't make sense because it's kind of a vomit, but yeah, we made that the first time and it didn't work because the links didn't work. And then they came out with this, and we were like, here we go. We are ready. We're already on this because we did this before.
I love this. Love this. Whoops. Hold on. Can you guys, okay, good. Can you still hear me? I thought I pressed something weird. I love this so much. Yeah, we've got to have this info. This is too good. Okay, so let me, we're running out of time. Crap. I want to make sure that I'm getting all this in. Let's see what else is really super important here. Yeah, let's talk about the launch of a new DT. Let's talk about that process you just launched. You know, you just have 3 days ago or 2 days ago, you enrolled a new girl. So how do you get them jump started into this at a fast pace?
So I've really like dove into like color languages and like love languages and stuff like that with my team, and that's seriously been such a game changer, like huge. I'm very red, so when I enrolled with Courtney, I was like, how do I make money? Like, tell me how to make this $500 bonus. And she caught on to that quickly and trained me as if I was someone that was running that needed money. And so, you know, I kind of look back at that and I really realized that that's why I was successful, is she gave me the opportunities to make money. She told me about fast starts and she told me how we make, you know, money, and that's all I wanted. So when I enroll a distributor, you can tell whether they're green, red, yellow, or blue. You can tell if they're red, they just want money. They want to know how to promote. If they're green, they're asking you a billion questions about compensation, about how to do this, about how to do that. You can tell right off the bat if there's somebody that you're going to have to send the extra details to. And I'm red, so that's really hard because I'm like, just do it. Like, who cares? But you have to kind of figure that out about people. And people that are yellow, they're more sensible and need you to care and like say like, hey, like, would you be willing to call me? Maybe like go over things. So you kind of have to, which you need to understand color languages before you do that. But it's so important, guys, because then when I started doing that, I got DTs that did something. That was so awesome. So, you know, I started caring about, you know, what made them feel excited and what made them feel led. So I was, you know, if they were green, I was giving them that extra information. If they were red, I was sending them how to make money right off the bat. So that's what I do. When they get started, I say like, okay, first I need you to send me a selfie so that I can welcome you to our team page and tell me what your why is. So right off the bat, they're telling me about them. So if they ever try to quit on me in this process of this, like, I call it like the newbie days, where it's like you got to get out of that a little bit, but it's like those first few days where they're learning stuff. If they try to quit on me, I always send them a voice message and I'm like, hey, I really don't think that you want to have to keep telling your kids no, or you really don't want to be in debt or like create more debt. You want to pay that off. So why are you giving up on this? I'm just red. I don't care. So I always just, you know, tell them exactly how it is. And I want them to know that they can't just quit on their why. So I have that why and I can always use it as leverage. So that's the first thing that I do. The next thing is I get them logged into their eSuite so that if they are green, they have that right off the bat to look through and like start doing things. I do that first because I also am very like OCD and I don't like seeing commission hold on my downline order. So I get them, you know, in eSuite looking at all that stuff. Then first I have them post their first post. I do not give it to them. I want them to make their own. I give them a little thing that says like, hey, like just tell you join this business, what it's going to do for you, like what you get to do. And they make their own post. It's typically not that great, but you know, we all started out really bad. Like some of the post messages, I'm like, good Lord, how did I get here? But, you know, I have them do their post and then I have them make their dirt list of 30 people. It used to be 100 and I found that that was just way too overwhelming. So I made it 30 and I just said like, hey, put some of your best friends on here, coworkers, family, and let me know when you do that. All the ends of my messages have a call to action of saying like, let me know when you do that. Let me know if you have any questions. Like, please send me like a screenshot when you do this, because if you don't, they're not going to tell you because they don't understand. So after Dirt List, I send them their first message, and then I send them my personal new distributor training video. I posted it on my YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel, but I recommend doing it of yourself so that they can, I mean, maybe if you're new, don't do that. But like if Kaye did it or one of your diamond leaders or whatever, it's definitely cool so that they can hear it if that's the way that they learn as well. Some people don't watch it, but some people find a lot of help from it, but at least you're giving them the resource. So, you know, I go over first customers, you know, first 2 distributors, posting, I go over the basics. I do not overwhelm. I literally just state like what they need to do right off the bat. And then I just automatically have them send out their first message and I say like, send me a screenshot no matter what they see, even if they say no, so that I'm coaching them through that. Now, one thing I do throughout this process, if they stop doing one of them, if they kind of fall off or they, you know, they're not replying or they're not sending me screenshots, I stay on them. So I'm like, hey, you're not sending me screenshots. So like, you know, do you not have enough people to message, or has someone said something rude to you? I always call out the elephant in the room and I relate to them. So if they're saying like, oh, well, you know, I stopped messaging, or I took my post down because my boyfriend and my family aren't being supportive. Well, I tell them how I joined in high school and I got so much stuff from joining that early. I relate to them. And so if they say like, okay, well, no one's responding to my messages, I say, okay, well, this is a business, you know, you're going to have, you know, you're going to have to wait time and let it like go out and be consistent. So I always call out the elephant in the room. That's super important. Be a human to them and don't be a dictator leader. Like you have to be willing to care for them and love them. And that's a big thing with love languages. You will realize that as they start promoting. Some of my leaders need me to like applaud them every 5 minutes, and that's the way that I am. My leader still does that. Like she'll say like, hey girl, I see you in downline orders, and like, heck yes you do. Like that's how I feel led. And so I do the same thing for them. So if there's somebody that really needs that acknowledgement, or somebody that needs me to call them every once in a while and just check in on them, you'll learn that. But that's a really, really huge thing for me and my team. I'm like best friends with all of them, and I haven't even met half of them, just because I care about them. And like I'll call and be like, hey, like how's your dog? I know he was sick. Like it's just things like that that they love. So, you know, you're leading them on top of being a really close friend, because for the longest time, I mean, I'm honest about it. I didn't care. I wanted them to, you know, get to where they were going so that I could get my paycheck back, because that's how I was. I was a selfish leader until I realized that you can't build a business like that. So definitely, you know, look into color languages and understanding how people need to be trained, because if you're training a red by giving them so much information, they're going to be like, whoa. Or if they're yellow and you're not being like a friend to them and like coaching them through it, and you're like trying to throw stuff at them, they're not, you know, like it just doesn't work with some people. So you kind of have to realize that. And I always ask them if they're not responding. I'm like, hey, like, what do you feel like you need from me? Are you feeling super overwhelmed? Or, you know, I always just ask questions like that.
They're asking, where did you learn about color languages other than being at like conferences and green carpets and boot camps and stuff? Because we learned them. It comes from Mike Patillo. That's where it comes.
Yep.
Mike literally brought all of us to corporate, these personalities. So
I was a Ruby when I discovered them, and I was at the Dallas boot camp, and they showed this like little buttons of green, yellow, blue, and this, and explained it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm red. Like that was like the biggest, like, I guess it was cool because I could identify as something and like be like, okay, yeah, that's me. I like money. So that was a really big thing. Once I kind of showed my team that, they were able to identify with something and like truly lock in on that, because it's really unique to be able to be motivated by something, because sometimes if you can't figure out, you're like soul searching as to like what motivates you. So if you're green, you know, like when you get that information, like Susan Wade, I love her because anytime she shares anything, she's like, okay, I'm on it, and makes a whole list of it in about 5 seconds, because she's so green. So, you know, it's an asset to have those people on your team as well, because when you start promoting and you have your team pages, they're like already typing up descriptions and all this stuff, and you're like, great, I didn't have to do it.
I said, Susan and I are like best friends, and I'm like, Susan, what was that Zoom? And she sends me like a list. I'm like, heck yeah, here you go. Because I'm blue, you guys, and blues, if we don't want to do anything unless it's fun, right? And so it's one of my biggest downfalls. You have to understand there's highs and lows to all of this. And one of the things that I've learned as a blue is like, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And this business isn't always fun. There's stuff about this business that we have to do anyway. And that's why I say when Sheyenne taught me about organization, I was like, okay, I can find a system in this because I've got to do something different, because I was like, I don't feel like it today. And I'm like, that doesn't work. Like you have to show up anyway. And so I'm like, I teeter in my brain like, well, but that would be more fun. Or like, well, I want to go play with the kids, or I want to go play with my husband. I want to go on a date. Like I want to do all the fun things. I'm like, the business isn't going to grow if you do that, Kaye. And I had to start having discipline. So you've got to find out who you are, and then start learning how to communicate with your team for sure. So that's super fun. Thanks for sharing that. We got to get them like a YouTube on this. We'll get one for you, team. I promise. All right, last quick question.
If you Google the,
go ahead.
If you Google the color personality test, it's typically like the second link. It's the one with like a color circle, and it's like looks like a really professional website. That's the one.
Okay, we'll get that. And the last thing I wanted to leave with is we're popping into a big season. Not only are we popping into a big season in the world of it works, I want you guys to understand that I've been with this company for 10 years this month. And I have seen waves and waves and waves, and we're getting ready to hit a massive wave of momentum. I mean, if you don't feel it already, like you didn't get on the train because it's
Yeah.
um but it's coming and it's coming in hot. And if you've got momentum, you're going to really benefit from this, and financially and with growth. And I feel it with every fiber of my being. And like, it's not just it's a knowing at this point. So we've been building up to this for a while. Now is the time. And not only that, this is our season. Like we're in,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like everything has a season and this is season. So you know this too. I know you know this. So what can you add to this to pour into this team tonight just about how crucial it is to be all in right now?
I mean, y'all, I went from rock bottom, $200 a year ago this month to in 11 months bringing in $20,000 a month. Like, if that doesn't tell you what this season can do for your business, I don't know what can. I thought that, I'd heard people saying the boom is coming, like the boom is here. I'm like, what in the heck is the freaking boom? Like, I don't even know. And it came, and I've just been riding it. Like, I rode it all year, and it's literally just a wave that, momentum is so hard to get and so easy to lose. So with it being here right now, don't sit back and watch everyone else promote and watch everyone else stay up late and watch everyone else do the work, because why wouldn't you want to be in on that? Like, just the financial growth that you're going to have and the growth in yourself. Like, I'm a completely different person than I was 2 years ago because of this, because I've just gone all in with it. And, this business is what you make it. If you're willing to show up every single day and you're willing to pour into your team and you're willing to be the best version of yourself and the best distributor that you can be, you have no idea what this business is going to do for you. And it's like I told you, you can't get this anywhere else. There's no other company, there's no other business, there's no other nothing that provides you with everything that you need to be successful. Like, this company is on it all the time with how many, we come out like 17 new products in 4 days. Like, literally, it's crazy. So just know that, like, this company's got you, but you have to do the work. Just like God is going to provide you with the tools that you need to promote, but he's not going to hand it to you. And so I want you to understand that, like, whatever you have your goal set as and whatever you want to achieve, you can sit there all day long and say it's going to happen. But if you're not showing up and doing the work to get there, it's not going to happen. So conference is coming, bonuses are coming out, promotions are coming out. Heck, we don't know what's up their sleeve because I don't know how they're going to top anything that they've already done. But, that's the greatness of our company is you don't know. So I just want you to understand that the work you're putting in right now, you may not promote this month. You may not promote in February, but in March or, April, whatever, all the work you're doing right now, utilizing this momentum and growing your team. It's $49 to join right now. Everybody should be just hopping on your team because you're putting it out there about why they need to be here. Talk about the momentum. Like, I know that was a huge thing. I asked my team actually, because someone said, like, how did you go presidential in 11 months? I'm like, I wish I could tell you one thing, but it's not. I asked my team what changed, and all of them were just like, just watching you being excited about what was coming, even though you had no idea what was coming, because I'd never been through boom season before. It was the first time I'd ever gone through it, and I was like, okay, the boom is coming. I don't know what we're doing, but let's go with it. I went with it, and I was willing to be uncomfortable, and I was willing to just go for it, open my mind and heart to being at conference and, like, watching other leaders. And I fed off all of it, and I was like, hey team, like, we're doing this. I don't know what we're doing, but hop on. Like, and we just went with it. So understand that the season you're in, all the planting that you just got done doing through the whole, December, November, all of that, when enrollments weren't necessarily as high, it's here, you guys. And it's time for you to step in, put both feet in, and go, because you don't even know what the next 11 months of your life is going to be. Because I'm not saying that everyone's journey is the same, but your journey is yours, and you can make it what you want to make it, but it's not going to be anywhere without you doing the work.
Do you think that you even going into this past year as executive, did you even see presidential? Like, did you even, I know you put it on your dream board, but like, even know, like actually know how much this was going to change your life in 11 months?
No, I told Courtney when I joined, I was like, I hope to go Ruby in like 2 years, because you can't wrap your head around this company at all until you're in it. Like, I had no idea what presidential was. I didn't know how many people it needed. I didn't know how much money I could make. I was just going with it. I was like, hey, like, these people are doing good. I can do good too. Like, I had no idea. So just understand, like, you really don't have a single clue what this business can do for you. But as you're going through it, you have aha moments every single day as to, like, holy crap, like, I can make so much money with this, and I can change so many lives, and heck, I can change my own. So, you're not going to know, you're not going to understand, and you're not going to be able to wrap your head around the fact that your life can change so much, but it really, really can.
I think that's something for all of us to take away is what you just said, is you literally joined this business and we're thinking, oh, it'll just maybe in 2 years, because you just didn't even know, like, how many other people, guys, do we have on our team that maybe that's you. And I'm not just like, I'm not like Cheyenne said, like, I'm not being rude calling you out. I'm just like, I'm having an aha moment and thinking that could be you thinking it's going to take 2 years. And just by knowing that it doesn't have to take 2 years, like it could literally happen this month and should happen this month. So you're set up for everything the conference is announcing, like, let's go. And I think that that's such an important takeaway is think about the mindset that people come into this business, and you kind of got to be their push. I had that aha moment just now, their push to go to the next level, because they don't know and they don't understand. And mom recently had this aha moment interviewing Carla on her podcast. And Carla said that one of her new distributors was literally like on a hold because she just didn't know how to put a customer in. She just didn't know. And once Carla showed her, she was like a loyal customer enrolling machine because she just had to know how to do it. And we think it's more. Sometimes it's so simple. And just taking that time to get to know that person and what's maybe holding them back. And it could just be something super simple. So that's a big aha moment. If you really call a grip of what that means for you and your just now, that could be really massive for growth in your organization. So cool. Girl, you are amazing.
And two, like the people you have with you right now, they don't have a single clue. Like I had a girl quit for 6 months and she's 9,000 from Triple Diamond right now.
What?
Like she's promoting this month and she quit for 6 months, you guys. She had no idea. And then I just started showing her like, this is what you do. And like, heck, it's freaking exciting right now. And she just rode the wave and here she is. It's like you, whether you're executive or you have no one under you, or maybe you're the one that I was talking about that's struggling so hard to even get people interested, just wing it. You know, you may not have a single clue what you're doing right now, but there is no rhyme or reason as to why you can't. Like this business is so simple. It's not easy. It's simple. So take the terms that we're showing you. And I know Kaye has an awesome team page filled with all sorts of stuff that she's willing to give you. And I know it's fun because she likes to be fun. So definitely take everything that she's giving you and just wing it, you guys. Like just go along with the flow, you know, learn as you go. I still learn. I didn't know that you didn't have the full 72 hours until midnight to move customers until yesterday. Okay. I thought you had like, I'm not even kidding. I was so angry. I had like those 12 customers. I enrolled with that message and they were gone. I was like, but that's apparently been that way the whole time. I didn't know that. So I just wing it.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, see, guys, we're just human, right? She's so amazing. This is so good. I know we're like way over, but this was so fabulous. Shay, thank you.
I've got nowhere to be.
You're your grandma's. You're living the dream.
Yeah. They went to sleep.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Well, this is so awesome. I know the team is so grateful, and we'll put this on right away.
Bye.
Hey, thank you. See you in a couple weeks.
I'm so excited. All of you better be there, even if you're super broke. I put my account in the negative to go to conference, but it paid off.
20K a month, so it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.